Well, this farm is just inside the Dartmoor National Park, on the edge of Dartmoor, in the Tean Valley, near the parish of Cristo. We've actually got 4 different breeds of sheep. We've got pedigree Suffolks and Texels. We've got a small flock of purebred Frieslands, which we sell females into milking flocks. And we've got some of the sheep you can see behind us here. We've got about 700 of them now, which are wool shedding, naturally wool shedding sheep. So the ultimate easy care sheep. What you're looking at here is actually a composite breed. We've got 6 different wool shedding breeds in it, and a couple of native normal wool sheep, clean, and a bit of mule in there as well. We're looking to improve, to have a sheep that's very easy to look after, very easy to manage, but still be productive. It's all very well having a sheep that's easy to look after if it doesn't produce anything, but that ain't going to earn you anything. So these have got to tick both boxes.
Have you ever fed in troughs?
Don't even think about it. Recipe for disaster, as far as I'm concerned.
Just
don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's unhygienic. It's hard work. It makes a mess in the field. And my understanding is it's one of the best ways of getting abortion. You know, with bird shit on the troughs, picking up the remains of the food, and you're bringing abortion that way. Right. So if there was ever a bit of advice I would give to anybody, it's don't feed in troughs. To start off with, years ago, it was bags out of the back of the pickup, and you'd tramp across the field and try and find a clean place in the field to feed. Then when we got the quad bike, sort of 15 years ago, we started just piling bags of food on the quad bike and riding out, and you'd take enough to feed 300 or 400 ewes in a go, and you take it out and then drop whatever food you had to. And the beauty of that, of course, is you get to a clean place in the field, but it's hard work. If you've got a mob of 200 ewes, it's very hard work. Whereas now you drive out with a snacker, they get used to parting. It's like Moses parting the sea of sheep when you get out into the field, and they get used to the fact the food is coming out the back end, not the front end of the quad bike. And as soon as you get out just in front of them, you just keep going, and yeah, it's just made my life so much easier. Last autumn we were feeding every sheep on the farm from about the middle of September till the beginning of December, because we'd had such a dreadful late summer that virtually every sheep on the farm was in poor condition, and we just made the decision that we would pre-tup feed, or pre and during tupping feed. Mm-hmm. We're tupping now. We are now in the middle of November, so the rams have been out for a couple of weeks now, and this time last year we were feeding every sheep on the farm for about close to 3 months. Virtually all of the feeding we do would be using the multi-feeder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do a small amount of feeding without the multi-feeder, but it would be just odd groups in odd places at odd times of the year. But as soon as we're into pre-lambing feeding, which is basically what we do, then that's when we're using the multi-feeder. They need to be set up. Once you're comfortable that it works on your farm, then you run with it. Yeah.
That was the next...
I'm not sure you need to have it adjustable for every day. I mean, we adjusted and calibrated the width of the drop, and so now we are dropping just a fraction short of a kilo a drop. So it's very easy when you're out in the field to know how much you're feeding, and we're calling it a kilo a drop.
Right. So
that's enough for 3 to 4 sheep to feed around, because I don't think it's worth going out and feeding less than 250 grams a day. I think you do more damage than good, with the fighting and the anticipation and the stress on the sheep, and you certainly don't want to be feeding more than 400 grams in a feed, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So somewhere between 250 and 400. So I've got my snacker now set for a kilo a drop, which means you know how many drops you're doing for the group, and off you go. I mean, on the ground that we've got, there is 1 or 2 fields, and we tend to adapt the route, so we're going down over those fields on the way home, just because you have to make sure that you can get up over. And it's not the power of the quad; it's just literally the grip on the quad isn't enough to get up over some of the field. So you just adapt the feeding route to make sure that when you have to go over a steep field, you're going down over it, and it's on the way home with a nearly empty feeder. That we would break our necks to prevent stressing the ewes at a critical time of the year. But this has just made my life easier because we now go out, we feed the ewes with the absolute minimum of stress, but also it's physically much easier for me. So there's been a benefit in stress levels, but it's been probably I've benefited more than the sheep. But the sheep now are being fed, you know, with minimum stress, which I hope I was doing before as well. I mean, with the counter here, I mean, you go out, you've got 100 ewes, and you say, right, these ewes are getting 300 grams a day, so that's 30 kilos. You set the thing going, and when it gets to 30, you switch off and drive to the next field. I mean, it just couldn't be simpler.